This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy. Just drop in some details about yourself and see if you're eligible to save money when you bundle your home and auto policies. The process only takes minutes, and it could mean hundreds more in your pocket. Visit Progressive.com after this episode to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
Going on, you are listening to Tags Podcast, aka Talk About Gay Sex Podcast. This is episode 775. I am your host, Steve V, looking at alongside Lincoln over in California. How you doing, Lincoln?
Hey everybody, it's good to see you guys. I'm doing really well. How are you guys?
Great to see your face. And of course, the lovely, talented Cody Maurice Doggett lounging over there. It looks like you're lounging over there in Brooklyn, all ready for us. How you doing, Cody?
Hello, darling. I'm doing wonderful. It's so good to see you guys' faces.
Absolutely. Exactly. Well, let's get into it because today I wanted to remember there's an adult performer, Dale Savage, who died at 62 just recently. But what stood out about his story is that he didn't begin his adult career until he was 50. 50! At an age when society often tells us to slow down, become less visible, and leave certain dreams behind. Dale did the opposite. He stepped in front of the camera, explored his sexuality, and really allowed himself to be seen. His story, to me, raises a bigger question. How often do we convince ourselves that we're too old to begin, too old to change, too old to explore a fantasy, too old to reinvent ourselves, too old to finally become the person we're afraid to be when we were younger? And for many of us, gay people, queer people, our timeline have never been traditional, right? Some of us spent our younger years hiding, surviving, or simply trying to understand ourselves. So today we're talking about second acts, sexual reinvention, and the dreams that we still haven't given ourselves permission to pursue because desire doesn't have an expiration date. And I think it reminds me, Lincoln, a little bit of our favorite artist, Madonna, that just scored a #1 album with Confessions 2. And talk about reinvention and at 67. What does Dale's story, Madonna, we're going to do a story in a little bit here about twinks and aging and fighting ageism in our community. What does all that mean to you?
Well, it's funny that the more we talk about how society and the world doesn't look at older people, and if you want to lump it in to overweight people, to people who aren't traditionally pretty or all that, there's that belief out there, but it also seems like that's happening more now than ever. Doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know, like plus size models, being okay with your body no matter what size it is, being okay with your body no matter what age you are. I think, you know, like so many people have said before me, age and fitness and your perception is really all in your own mind, and it's all in your own capacity and your own control. So I am an avid Madonna fan, as we all know. And I know that for the past 4 weeks, I haven't seen one negative thing about her. And the moment I see something negative, I turn it off because it's not the truth. I was 40 feet from her in Times Square with a front row seat and saw a 20-minute performance that she could have done 10 years ago, 20 years ago, probably 10 years from now. And it was well produced. She sounded great. She looked great. And I really don't care what anyone else thinks about her or the album or it. And I don't think she does either. So I think that that's kind of that frame of mind that I'm talking about. You know what I mean? She cares a lot, don't get me wrong, but not what other people are saying, I hope.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting, Cody, because when I turned 50, it was really when I started to get my mojo in many ways. It was like my confidence. And I think as gay men, like Dale too, really, he retired. I think he was a fireman and retired and then took on becoming an adult performer, and sadly died at 62, but at least he lived his dream and had a lot
Yeah.
of fans and was good at it. Apparently his fans really liked his work, and it's really a test of many of us queer men. It takes us sometimes time, because I really feel that we weren't allowed to come into our own at a younger age. And so many of us, we came out later. We didn't have all those early years. So I think it's beautiful that what Dale was able to create at 50. What do you say?
Yeah. I totally agree with you. It's so funny because I feel like in society we're inundated with how we're supposed to be. And a lot of adulthood is unpacking what we were told we're supposed to be, who we're told we're supposed to be, and really learning that who you become is entirely up to you at the end of the day. So I feel like for me that I've had to do a lot of that, be it with my sexuality, with who and what I want to do as far as my career is concerned. Now, just because I do what I want to do as far as that is concerned, I still have to make money because that's a practical part of life. But
Right.
still, I'm still coming to my own into my own as far as like my career goals are concerned, and I don't think that ever stops. I think it continues to grow and grow and go as you grow. So I think that's it's the best thing. And him and Madonna are both great examples of how that longevity and it doesn't ever stop, and to keep dreaming dreams no matter what age you are.
I do have a question. How did he
Yeah.
die? Has it been put out there yet?
He had a stroke, sadly. Yeah.
Because I think the reason I asked that is part of it. Madonna almost died 2 years ago.
That's true. Right.
And
Yeah.
it put a fire under her, I feel, as a longtime fan, of like, wait a minute, I need to look at life differently. Not that she was
Yeah.
doing anything wrong before,
Right.
but I think her legacy perception has shifted in her mind. I also think she took actions like going with Warner Brothers and not having to deal with Live Nation anymore. That's such a better match for her, was another decision she made. As she got older, she learned that. So I wonder if him having a stroke, obviously you can't predict, but if there was
Right.
some type of a health thing, I've had my own health issues over the past 5 years, and those health issues, they make you get serious really quickly.
It's true. I mean, a
Life
few years,
adjustment.
yeah, a few years back, I broke my ankle, and I had a lot of time sitting on the couch reflecting. And it was just right after the pandemic, which was more time of reflecting too. And it really got me really re-embracing what we do here at this show, and the other opportunities I have just with this platform that we have. And so, I started a Substack now, which I explore more about my sexuality on there, which I share with you guys on there. And, I even started an OnlyFans at 50 as well. And not something I would have thought I would have done, but I just redirected it to men of a certain age. So I'm getting yoga certified now, which is something that,
Ooh.
right, I just starting that course, and I'm going to teach my OnlyFans followers naked yoga. These are all things that are taking what I started in my late 40s, this show, and using this platform to elevate it in many ways that I think I had a lot of time when I had that injury and I had to have surgery and all that. You get to reflect on your life. And what do you say to that, Cody, when you are putting out music now, and
Yeah.
and it's a great time for you to be putting that out there. And I don't want to say your age. You have a birthday coming up, though.
I do. Happy birthday to me. Ageless is how old I am.
Ageless, exactly.
Yeah, I think all that is amazing. It's so good to finally live your truth and discover what and how will make you happy in life. And when you finally uh accept that and lean into it, it just feels so good. So I'm excited for all the things that are coming up with you. I'm happy to continue doing my things. I'm happy for Lincoln, who is just out there fulfilling his dreams and like blooming as well. So we're all doing it. And look at us. We're men of a certain age and we're still out here thriving. So I love it.
I will also just say one quick thing, that not everyone is an extrovert. Some
Yes.
people, as they get older, living in their truth is not releasing music or acting in a,
Yeah.
it's
Right. Yeah.
having the comfort to say, you know what, I want more small, intimate um, moments with the people who are important to me. I don't want to deal with chasing things like I used to anymore. There is something I've noticed as I've gotten older. There are certain things I've just lost interest.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's losing interest in people. And that doesn't mean that they're not interesting. It means that they've lost interest to me. The ebb and
Yeah.
flow of life is not holding on to a moment and making it be that moment forever. So if you are listening to this and you're like, wow, I'm 61 and I haven't pushed myself, maybe you're not a pusher, but as long as you're pushing being happy from the
Yeah.
inside out, I think that's what matters the most.
I think that's
Self-fulfillment.
a great point. Yeah. And when we talk about sexual freedom, which we talk a lot about on this show, a lot of us, really, I didn't explore the BDSM culture until my 40s. And that's when I entered the New York Mr. Ego contest. Again, kind of an extrovert thing to your point. But there are other ways. We talk a lot about connection on this show, Cody, and how important connected sex is, even when you're out there, and you can continuously explore as you age, and sometimes sex even gets better. What would you say to that?
I agree. I think that for me, reaching out and just kind of exploring my more sexual side has been very fulfilling, and just put myself out there more. I feel like maybe I was playing it a bit safe, even though I did some wild and crazy things in my youth. I feel like I am more explorative now. I feel like for me, it's I'm having a lot more sex than I've ever had in my entire life, but I think that
Right.
trying new things, exploring things that I never thought I would try. But it's been fulfilling because it helps me explore different sides of myself. So exploring your sexual nature and your sexuality, it's always for me, it's been a benefit to help me understand myself better.
Yeah, I agree with that too. I mean, Lincoln, would you say it about your sexuality, how it's evolved as you've aged? What have you learned about it that, kind of what we're talking about here?
I feel again, I've lost interest in a lot of the old shenanigans that were great when I was doing them,
Yeah,
and now not really a match for me. No judgment, but also no interest.
right.
And it's crazy that, Peter, my partner, has a new job and he has been working so hard and we've been thrown things that it's just been really hard, get through it, just get through it, whether it's a health thing or a work thing or an event thing and we were able to escape here to the house in California for a good 2 weeks before he had to go back. And we were like kids who just met each other.
I
We were
love
like,
that.
Oh,
wow, like it was so funny and it was so fun and it was so sexual and it was so hot and it wasn't anything that was outside of us. We've been monogamous now for 7.5 years, and
hmm,
that ebb and flow, like any relationship,
yeah.
gay, straight, whatever, has ebbs and flows in it. And it's so wonderful to plan a vacation to just relax and then have things like that happen quite naturally that are like, oh, this is why vacations are so important.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
you can't force that stuff. It's not worth
Yeah.
it.
disrupting the pattern, the daily flow that you find yourselves in, just sometimes planting yourself in a new place can reignite all those fun things that you fell in love with that person from the get-go, which I think is really exciting.
And
Um,
to do a slightly deeper dive, I know that when I was single and when I've had great times, it was also a lot of searching. It was a lot of exploring for things to complete me. A lot of
okay.
now what? Oh, now what? Now what? Now what? Like always adding on, whether it was running to Bear Week or running to Fire Island or running here or running there. That's great when you're exploring. That's great when you're finding and looking for certain things, and those can definitely come back around as time moves on. But it's nice to shed that off and know that that's not in my personal DNA right now to be
Yeah.
searching and growing. You know what I mean? Like there's always another high. I also think that's an addict thing, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Hello. You know, like
Yeah.
stopping all
exactly.
of that stuff for the most part also has shifted. You know what I mean?
Cody, when we talk about like desirability, have you noticed that people look at you're desired by different groups of people, and or has it been a constant throughout the years? The same people you find desirable find you desirable?
I wouldn't say that all the time. Sometimes the people that I find desirable do not find me desirable, and that's perfectly fine. To each their own. But I feel like for me, a lot of younger guys are starting to hit on me more, and I think that that is something that I don't know. Maybe it's the daddy thing. Maybe I'm giving off daddy vibes now, but definitely I find that they're coming in younger and younger, and I'm like, wait a minute, I'm gonna have to start carding guys pretty soon because it's it's yeah, I don't want any problems in that arena. But I find that it's attraction is just so it's per person. It's
Yeah.
so singular. You can't really just judge it. When attraction does happen between me and someone else where it's mutual, I just try and cherish that. I think that like I can't even really like put too much thought in have how other people are uh processing their attraction. So if they're not checking for me, I it might sting a little bit in the beginning because you want as human beings, I want to be as a human being, I want to be desired, but I can't control it at the end of the day. So I have to let it go. And there's somebody out there that's cute that I think is cute that is attracted to me. And that's how I have to look at it.
Yeah, I think it's with aging comes confidence that like before you might have forced it when you were younger or fought it to have someone like you, and now I feel like you're just more settled in who you are, and not take it or leave it, but I mean you work really hard on your body. I feel. I work out. We were talking to our other co-host Sebastian, where he's going to fight the aging process, not in
Yeah.
the way he was saying that he doesn't want to age. It's just he's going to work out to feel good, to be desirable to himself till he can way into his 80s. And I agree with that sentiment as well. There was a recent Queerty that asked many questions about ageism, and people had different things to say. They asked people of certain age groups how they felt about aging when they come to, say, twinks. And this is what some of them said. Of course, I consider it my superpower of invisibility. If I notice, just brush it off, buy another drink, and think to myself, you can only hope you preserve this well, in response to somebody saying that they're feeling aged out. The human brain, somebody
Mm.
said, is not fully developed until the age of 25. They are similar to a honey badger, famous for attacking. They attack animals many times their size, including lions, leopards, and venomous cobras, said John in Chicago. And somebody else said ages 18 to 25 can be the most beautiful, the most sexual. Unfortunately, they speak, said Stan in Chicago. In response to really aging people, I mean, do you still see that, Lincoln, of younger people looking at people our age and older as with an ageist attitude?
Yeah, but it's not, to me, it's not aggressive. It's more like we're invisible,
Mm.
Okay.
which I don't understand because I'm, well, we all have the windows of our world are ourselves, right? So it's always ourselves, our own perception of what's going on. And I'm still 30-ish, happy, positive energy, and don't understand. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
especially when I'm invisible. I'm also 6'2". So it's like, how are you not seeing who I I just
Yeah.
take up a lot of
How,
space.
how
You
can
think
we miss you?
How could we miss
You're
you?
a big
Right.
guy.
you know what I mean? And especially, but I also think it depends where you are in the world. I think
Well,
New
I
York,
agree.
something we've been talking about a lot is New York is back.
Yeah.
Pandemic, whatever. We have World Cup. We have the Knicks. Like, it is back, and it is as annoying as ever because everyone is in their own world and their own phone, and they're all trying to get ahead. And it's very opportunistic, as always, of like, what can I get from you? Nothing. Goodbye. And that whole energy is always in New York. It's always been there. And now, post pandemic, I think people are a little harder edged at times. And it's like they're trying to get there. Out here in California, you're kind of invisible in a different way. Like, the speed is so much slower that it really almost doesn't even matter in a way. Like, it feels less aggressive, even though
Oh,
it's
that's
probably the same
interesting.
kernel of truth, right? Right.
I
Yeah.
mean, I may have mentioned this on a previous episode, but Cody, when we were in Central Park for was it Dreamland
Yep.
party? And it was so fun. And I remember dancing, loved the DJ, and was just, with Diego, having a great time with our friends. And I looked over, and there was these two guys dancing, and they were very young, like 20s young. And one of them, we just shared a really warm smile that said Happy Pride, and kind of just smiled at each other, not in a flirty way, like we want to get it on, but it was just seeing each other. And again, he
Yeah.
was much younger than me, but I don't know if it was pride being in Central Park, but taking it all in and just really seeing each other, which I thought was a beautiful moment. But what do you say to what we're talking about, Cody, about ageism and people looking at each other, maybe within our own community at times, that judges for getting older?
I mean, I know it happens, so I can't like negate anybody's experience, but I don't think it's happened to me that much. I dye my beard, so that
Yeah.
takes like a good 5 years off of me. So,
The power of the box.
girl, it works wonders, child. But yeah, so I can't say that it's happened to me a bunch, but I know that it happens, and I know that can't feel good for anybody. So I really hope that the community and like society takes a good look and sees that the value of people that are our age and older, it's undeniable. You can't really quantify or qualify it because the experience is there, and they've been through so many things that we need to take value from and learn lessons from. So yeah,
Yeah,
we
I
need to
mean,
appreciate our elders or
I just think
our
about
peers.
when I was in my 20s in San Francisco, my best friend, who's still one of my best friends, Larry, shout out to Larry, we're 20 years apart, and we always celebrate our anniversary of our long-term friendship of knowing each other. And in my 20s, I hung out with Larry and his friend who's 30. We're 30 years apart, and we traveled in this circle, and I met so many people in my 20s that were older than me, and I learned from them, and I loved it. I always wanted to be around older people because I didn't know much, and they were the fabric of growing up for me. I hope that younger people really, take that into consideration when your friend groups, and it's great to expand your friend groups in that way. I mean,
I
yeah,
also think it's hard for our community because our elders passed
yeah,
Yeah.
the virus, and now younger kids have chat gpt and a phone that is distracting them to answers from other things. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
So I always like
Yeah.
to try and keep in mind where people are coming from and what their circumstances are. Like, we're the end. Stephen and I are the end of the generation that didn't have a smartphone.
right.
We didn't have a smartphone until when? 30? 28? A pager?
30s, yeah,
Maybe 30s.
yeah,
30. So you just imagine someone having a tool at 30 and having a tool at 13. The
Mm-hmm.
person is going to
yeah.
be, right,
Yeah.
completely different purely by environment and tools that are in front of them.
Yeah.
I had an issue with an air conditioning unit, and in the old days, it's like, who can I call? What can I do? But right now, you take a photo, you put it in ChatGPT, it tells you the first 3 things to check. You're not in this panic of needing a person with
Yeah.
experience to help you with your air conditioner. You have a device that doesn't involve anyone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's not that I have any answers about it, but it's just very minded. I should ask ChatGPT what is the answer
Yeah.
to
Oh, what to do? Oh my gosh.
No,
I have
it's
a
just
wealth of things. Not
like I
some of them
try
won't be that good.
when people come into the shop with the bakery and they have a certain opinion about things in diet. I always think in my mind it's what they're looking at.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do
Oh,
with me. It has nothing to do with my product. It's what they're looking at. You know what I mean? And
good point.
everyone's looking at different things because it's catering to each individual person.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Well, a couple of questions to ask each of us. Whatever comes to mind, this will be kind of fun. What is something, Cody, you began later in life that made you feel more alive?
Wow. Something I started later in life that
And you're
I
not that
haven't
old, so
started.
let's just put that out there.
I'm in my
you know,
40s.
yeah.
I I wish I could say learn Spanish, but that hasn't happened yet. But it's something I want to do that's made me feel more alive. Working out really consistently. I used to, when I was younger, I would work out and it would be fine. And I had like whatever, a fine body. But now I am hitting the gym pretty crazy and I'm seeing the results. And yeah, that's made me feel a lot better about my self-image and things of that nature.
Lincoln, do you have something that you began later in life that made you feel more alive?
Nothing that's coming to mind because I feel like I've lived my life that I keep building on things.
I like that.
Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
Like when I remember when I went to London the first time and my friend was stuck and couldn't show up for a day later. Like I was like, oh my God, I'm in London. I was 29. I was very, like, what am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? I'm like, go see a show.
Yeah.
Of course. I've seen shows my whole life, but it's like I kind of bend back to what brings me comfort and then go from there. I can't think of something that I started later in life that brings me that kind of joy. It's more like I keep going through life and seeing how it has evolved throughout the years. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, mine was something I did try that made me feel more alive when I started the OnlyFans, but I've since changed how I kind of did it because I thought, oh, it's a natural iteration for the sex podcast, but I didn't put a lot of thought behind it. And so I took a break, and now coming back, it's going to make me feel more alive because it has a focus. It's for people my age and older, and it's got
Right.
and so for me I'm getting excited about producing content for a queer aging man that still wants to work out and teach people naked yoga and do all kinds of tips and tricks, and there's a focus now on it that I think is giving me life and I'm feeling excited about. So it would be that. One more question, Cody, what sexual rule have you outgrown?
Wow. Okay. What sexual rule have I?
Well, I mean, I could tell you mine just to get it
Go
going.
ahead.
Mine
Yes.
would be getting rid of the labels of tops and bottoms and realizing that I'm versatile, embracing on this show that I was a bottom for so many years, and the shame that came along with it. I've released that shame altogether, where I used to carry that shame with me. And so labels on sexual positions and not being afraid to just own it wherever I'm at.
Cody.
Lincoln, you want to go next? I can go. I thought about it, and now I repeated the question like I was in a pageant, like I was going to be Miss
This is
America.
$1 million question that could
like,
mean you
world
win.
peace. No, I think I let go of not wanting to look like a slut. I think that has given me tremendous freedom as far as exploring my sexuality and kind of taking that label and just letting it go. I feel like that has done tremendous things for me in my life.
Wow, that's really powerful. I like that.
I'm glad I got to think about it. I was like, yeah, well, there it is right there. So yeah.
That's a good one. What about you, Lincoln?
Repeat the question.
Yeah. So the question is, what's a sexual rule you have outgrown?
That I have to have sex with gay people to be their friend.
That's a good one too.
Which I think is a problem in our community. Everyone is fucking and then they're friends. And when you put down that line of I don't have sex with anyone else but my partner, people just fly away. They don't want to.
Really?
Oh yeah, they can't handle it. Just an honest friendship without
Well,
each other's
I've noticed like
I can't do it.
friendships that I meet now with Diego as a couple are really organic, I think, to use an overused word, but we it's been fun making friends with him together like that. When we don't have sex, it's been nice. And I don't know, you're right. A lot of my some of my friends I have slept with, and that's how they started. But it is
That's a very
something.
common thing in gay
Yeah,
relationships, and it's like you meet someone, you're attracted. I think one meets some in a stereotypical way. One meets someone, they're attracted to them, they have sex, they don't necessarily want to be their partner, so they're going to be friends.
Yeah.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Like, there's
yeah,
nothing wrong with that, but that's just
yeah.
kind of that's how you make your friend group. I've never had a friend group. I always like kind of slept with people, and if it didn't work out, we were like acquaintances, but not like I never had a group of guys I hang out with. And now I find that Peter and I meet people that are really great, and they know, oh, cool, let's go to dinner, let's go see a show,
Yeah.
let's go. We're not ending in bed like I used to.
Interesting. Yeah. No, I love that.
Yeah.
Well, let us know how you weigh in on that and what we've been talking about aging and your sexuality as you age and perceptions. We want to hear from you. Let's continue the conversation over on our Patreon community. You can go to patreon.com/tags podcast. And yeah, we want to hear from you. But for now, it's time to get into hot topics. And there's a new rule of kink out there when being so submissive means doing exactly what you're told, and it's even topping. And with the popularity of Pillion, did you guys see that movie? I've seen it twice now. It's so good.
And I have
Yeah.
the book.
It's so good
My
about
friend,
a dumb.
the book is very different.
Okay.
Oh,
All right.
really?
Yeah, our massage therapist and a good friend of mine gave it to Peter for his birthday and said, you have to read this to Stephen every night, page by page.
I love that. And actually, that's really interesting because we were going to do, there's a story we're going to do about a summer read, and maybe that's your summer read to recommend to everybody. I might put that on my list. But on TikTok, a young sub posted under the name Camera Shy that he would be open to topping his partner. The concept of being so submissive, I would top if my partner wanted me to, he wrote over a video that shows him staring into the distance, I guess presumably waiting for instruction. It's been viewed over 1.5 million times. The mainstreaming of kinky sex shows the practice isn't nearly as taboo as once assumed. Research suggests that up to 15% of gay men identify as submissive, and 45% of adults have fantasized about BDSM. And for those adults, it's varies between men and women, of course, but Dom sub is kind of a thing, I guess, and you can be a sub and still top. Does that surprise you, Cody?
No. It's about dynamics. It's not about sexual positions. So
and psychological, right?
Yeah, yeah. So the power dynamic doesn't have to shift, and I've met very dominant bottoms out there in the world. So I'm not surprised at all. I think this is great. To each their own. As long as you are, consenting adults. I like it. I love it. Film it and I'll watch it.
I love that. Yeah, power dynamics are a real thing within relationships. And what do you say to this? Does this surprise you, Lincoln, that there would be dominant dominant subs?
Yeah, not at all. Because people read energy, not necessarily words, right? So if you're presenting a certain energy in a moment, it doesn't mean that you're under your title or whatever that is. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It depends on what you're bringing to the table to do that. And if you want to explore that as more of a sub, remember, it's all about getting the top off, right? It's all about pleasuring the top. And sometimes that is doing that action. So yeah, I get it. I mean, in a general way, sure, it's surprising to hear, but when you actually give it a little thought, it's not right? It's not overload.
Yeah, I think it's a psychological thing more than anything and it totally makes sense to me. Well, there was a viral thread, gay thread, asking the question or stating long-term gay couples, married or not, what's the unsexy, unglamorous thing that actually makes your relationship work? They wrote, chemistry fades. I want to know what's left after that. So here's some replies we'll discuss. Somebody wrote a shared sense of humor and the requirement to like each other as friends. We really like each other as friends, somebody else wrote. First and foremost, said one, we like to watch the same Netflix shows, sing together around the house. We've even distributed the housework. My friends love him. I think that's really key. Communication, said somebody. I do yard work. My husband doesn't like doing yard work. That's my happy place. While I'm still doing that, he'll be washing the dogs or cleaning the litter box. It's okay that we don't do everything together. We still love each other unconditionally, and there are numerous things we do together. Embracing changes, said somebody, a commitment to the unsexy, unglamorous, and sometimes tiring conversations that help us navigate through the fact that we are two independent people who share love and life, but are constantly growing and changing. I love these. I mean, what's some things, Cody, in a relationship that you think are the unsexy things, but that make a relationship last?
I want to say support. I think really like just supporting that person. If they're tired, you go, you know, take off their shoes or rub their feet, or just things that show that the little things that show that you care. I think a lot of that goes into a long lasting relationship. It's not always like passion. Like Lincoln was saying earlier, it's sex can come and go and ebb and flow in a long-term relationship. So as long as you're focused on really supporting one another and really building that relationship, I think that is the most important foundational thing.
Yeah, for me, it's looking at Diego, who is really good at fixing things and putting things together. And when I can't figure something on my iPhone, he's like, give it to me. And I love seeing him just tackle the job. He's so patient when I'm not. And he can figure out and I get so excited to see him. We bought these 2 cabinets for our bedroom, and they came in pieces. And that would just drive me crazy. But seeing him put that together, I mean, I was just like, it was sexy, but an unsexy thing. And I just love that because we're different and we appreciate our differences, which I think is really good. What about you and Peter?
I don't think that the opposite of sexy is unsexy. I think that cabinet story is very hot.
Yeah, it is. Actually, it is hot. Right, maybe it is hot.
Like,
actually, yeah.
He had the patience to go screw by screw.
Yeah, I know.
There's so many sexy things.
But
like, sex itself is such a small part of life when you're talking about a partnership for life.
Yeah.
Right? That's what I was talking about earlier about when I was single and always chasing the next thing or the next. It was all about diversity and the next conquer or the next thrilling thing to do. And I've kind of lost interest in that and just being able to be quiet with someone. Hey, Diego. Speaking of sex.
Hey, Diego. Everybody said hi. Speaking of sexy, they said.
So I think that actually is very sexy. Also, just as we all get older, things like medical stuff and taking care of each other or something Peter and I do is we record every doctor's appointment that we have, whether we're together or separate. And we learned that when Salty Pretzel was in the hospital a lot because I could not figure out what I was doing.
So you're in the doctor's office and you just turn on the record button?
A voice memo.
Oh, so that whatever the doctor's saying.
I have a recording of I do it with my lawyer. I do it with important meetings and I do it with doctors. Sometimes I say, is it okay if I record this?
Right. That was going to be my next question. Yeah.
To say in New York, you don't have to verbally say it. It's not the law. I don't care because I'm not sharing it with anyone. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's your health. So, you know.
And if there was some big malpractice thing, I would bring it up. And if they say, well, it was illegal to record, I'd say, okay, well, then we can't use it. Right. But
we can throw it away.
I can't remember anything. And now you can, wow, way off topic, but it's okay. I can record a voice memo of a doctor's appointment, copy the transcript, throw it into ChatGPT, and have it be bullet pointed without all the ums and the likes and the personal, story of, how'd you like the
Yeah.
coconut blondie? Like, that doesn't matter. I have it just focus bullet point on what that meeting was. Well, all that stuff is not sexy at all necessarily, but it's taking care of each other through the
Yeah.
nitty gritty bullshit of life. And that is really sexy to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
I
is
agree.
actually, we are off topic on that, but that is a really good thing to do. I wish my 89-year-old mother had we look after our mom now a lot, and she had an appointment and they wanted for her blood pressure to get this app. Well, my mom doesn't know how to download apps. And so I was talking to the doctor. So we're figuring it out, but that would be great to, a good
Voice
thing, just
memo.
voice,
It's
voice.
everything.
Yeah.
Same with, sorry, if you get a voice message left to you that you want to save
Yeah.
it in voice memos, because there's no limit in voice memos.
Oh.
There are in voicemails.
Oh, I'm going to start doing that. All my moms have saved.
I don't have any of my mother's voicemail saved because I'm a deleter.
All of my voice messages are like my mom, and she's
Throw
just
them
like,
all
"Hey,
into
Steve,
voice
call
memo,
me."
and then they won't ever disappear.
That is great. Okay, well, let's
Thank you,
move on
Lincoln.
to
That
some
corner of tags.
boy, was this the cruise to avoid when the Atlantis Cruise? You remember we talked to Cody about them being blocked from going into Turkey because they didn't like our lifestyle. And then they rerouted 2 new stops. One of them was Crete in Greece, which they went to, but the other one was Egypt. And remember I said on Tags Live, is that a really good alternative option? When I was right, Egypt also said, nope, we don't want your kind here either. And so everybody from Patti LuPone, who's performing on there, to Todrick Hall have spoken up. Todrick took to his social media to really talk about this, and he made it less about himself that we're stranded at sea, but what about the people that live in these places like Egypt, and that they don't have the same like freedom that we do. And so he said, and he encouraged other people with platforms to, who you are, he said, to really use your platform to speak up for what's going on in the world. And but what do you say to all this, that the Atlantis Cruise, are you glad you didn't book that trip?
Maybe next year I will. But I mean, I'm glad I'm not on this one. But you know what? It just goes to show that we still have so many strides to make out there in the world, in the United States. Just we live a very privileged life as far as our freedoms are concerned, and being able to live as gay people. I think this shows us that we should take stock of that and be appreciative of that, but also know that we have to fight for more freedoms here and across the globe as well. Because I agree with Todrick. That's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, it's funny. I was just on a smaller cruise this spring by Vakaya, and it made its way to Iceland, and we stopped in Reykjavik, which is a lovely city in Iceland. And it was crazy because it was midnight and it was still light outside at this time of year.
Wow.
But there is a painted rainbow street that goes through part of the town that years ago was put for an LGBTQ parade. And it's not necessarily a gay Mecca street, but the city decided it's so beautiful and it looks so good and people are taking pictures in front of it, and they kept it. And because in Reykjavik, Iceland, they think all people very open, and it just reminded me that, wow, and yet we have places like in Florida where they're taking away our rainbow, they're threatened by it. And here we are in Reykjavik, of all places. I would have never imagined that they thought it's so beautiful. And now it's like a point of
permanent.
Everybody takes pictures in front of it. It's really beautiful. But what do you think of this cruise, Atlantis? What's going on, Lincoln?
Well, Turkey was nothing new to me because I had somebody go on a cruise over 20 years ago and they couldn't stop in Turkey. So I don't know what I'm sorry. I didn't understand what the big fuss was, as I've always, not that it's right, because it's
Yeah,
not right.
right.
But I remember 20 years ago, my friend who I was dating at the time, they weren't allowed to port in Turkey. So this isn't anything new. What it reminds me of is, you know, we all feel like, I shouldn't say we all, right? You never speak for everyone, but we're really down on America right now. I
Yeah.
don't think anyone can deny that people are down on America. But America has so many things that you cannot dispute are better than anywhere else in the entire world.
Been a
Like,
lot of places, yeah.
they've come such a long way
Yeah.
given the history of life. And this, my commentary on this is life is lived on many levels. It's lived on many levels on 7th Avenue and 23rd Street, let alone in another country. Do you know what I mean? People are living, some people don't have a roof over their head. Some people don't have running water. Some people don't have. So we have to keep fighting the fight of our rights and what we know as our upbringing. But you also have to realize that around the universe, we really are the minority, and it's not right, but it's not unexpected. I couldn't be shocked by it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, you can't be shocked by it. There are some people that can't afford food for their children. They're not worried about gay rights or trans rights or all of the, like,
on a big
cruise
and
right or wrong. It's just like, wow, okay. And remember, I feel also, this reminds me of Sex and the City, the second movie. Remember, Samantha was like, I can't touch a man's dick in a public restroom or restaurant. Fuck this. And then she got brought into remember that? She got brought recently.
Oh my God.
So this is more than just gay sex. It's sex overall around certain parts of the world. You know what I mean? So
yeah, it just kind of brings up to mind, like, didn't they? Because they plan these out, these cruises, and didn't they talk to these various countries and flesh this out a little bit more? I would be a little bit upset if I was on the cruise thinking I was going to. And, sometimes people buy excursions in advance, and then you're left high and dry with all that. So,
just to defend the cruise industry, I don't know how it is now, but back then, when you booked the cruise, it was made evident that these ports, depending on the climate at the time, not weather climate, but political climate, we might not be able to stop at.
Okay. Well, fair enough. Yeah.
Like, that's why it felt, especially with Patti LuPone's response, which again, take it, it's Patti LuPone, so of course.
Right, exactly. That's what I thought.
By the world of Patti, sometimes she is a gay man. But like, what's the surprise? She could not have booked that gig and not known. You know what I mean? But it was brought to her in attention in a certain way. And to your point, she has a platform and a microphone. So she's going to yell and spread the word that this is happening. But still, like, why is it happening? We can't just bulldoze that it shouldn't happen. Why is it happening? Right?
Yeah. Well, one of my news programs I was watching on the weekend was talking about a new Atlantic story, a new report that Atlantic put out about America's literary crisis that people aren't reading. And that comes amid, there's a whole resurgence of bookstores that are popping up. Have you noticed? I know some friends of mine that opened up a queer bookstore, and Barnes and Nobles are popping up, but yet apparently we're reading less. And in the story, what they were talking about is we might be reading less, but we're reading differently. We read things like punchier, shorter sentences now, and it is affecting how our literacy and so with that, I want us all to. I know I didn't warn you guys, but I think we should all come up with a book. You can think about yours later, but mine is Yes, Daddy is the book, and it's written by Jonathan Parks Ramage, and it's kind of exciting because it's about a young playwright that moves to New York City that meets an older man that has a house in the Hamptons and lures him to the house. Well, all kinds of crazy things start happening in this house. It's kind of a dark summer read, but I'm looking forward to it. Would you recommend Pillion as a book since it's so different from the film? Is that your recommendation?
Because it really, especially after Shondor, who we are friends with, who gave Peter the book, we watched the movie together at his apartment. So like we were like had a Pillion night and it was very fun. And then he bought the book because he's also a writer. And when he read it, he was like, "Oh my God, Stephen and Peter have to read this because it's so different than the movie." So I would definitely
Yeah.
suggest that. I'm also going to say, as someone who is literate but extremely dyslexic, putting on an audiobook and not doing anything else is reading for people who
Yeah.
have problems reading. So put down those, get those audiobooks downloaded and start listening to those because you do learn a lot and it is just like reading.
Yeah, and Cody, we got to talk about your love of years of comics and how in depth they are.
Oh yeah.
And it's your time that you take to yourself. That's off the phone. That's not watching a movie or a TV
Yeah.
screen. And what does that mean to you? When you read those.
I mean, it has helped expand my vocabulary immensely. Reading those when I was a kid, I cannot express the wealth of like knowledge and it's basically like a soap opera. So there's like interpersonal like relationships that I learned about then when being a young kid and reading comic books. But yeah, so I'm actually gonna get myself for my birthday. I'm gonna get a Marvel Unlimited subscription so I can go back and read all the
Oh,
old
I
ones
love
because
that.
Oh,
and
that's
I don't
cool.
have to. Yeah, it's going to be fun. But also because you mentioned it earlier, and I started Googling, girl. I was like, what is a queer read I'm going to have
Sorry, yeah.
for the summer?
I knew it was going to be, yeah.
So
Go
I
ahead.
came up with All Boys Aren't Blue. It's a memoir manifesto by activist George M. Johnson, and it just counts his time growing up in his adolescence, moving through his college years in New Jersey and Virginia. So yeah, that's going to be my summer read for this
I
summer.
love that.
I got the book
Okay.
last year, and it's just been on the shelf, and I finally need to hunker down and get in there.
Yeah, yeah. I really wanted this summer to, I was again, my mother, she wants to keep her mind active, and we just ordered her a couple books, and I love that she reads, and with this story, I'm like, okay, let's get that going again. Let's find the time. Let's take a moment for ourselves, and yeah, reading is
Yeah,
beautiful.
we definitely need to advocate for more reading because I was watching Love Island and they don't know any words. They don't even know,
Yeah,
even the ones they think they know.
that actually was quoted in the story. That's
Really?
so funny. Yeah,
Girl,
the lack of our vocabulary, and you can see it in some of these reality shows of people that, like
they,
you said, grew up only on the phone and quick bits of information and TikTok and never, and now if you're in school, you don't even have books anymore. It's all digital, right? And
yeah.
so, yeah, it's a whole thing, but okay, we love giving advice on this show, and today is no different. When one person wrote, "Am I weird for not wanting daily good morning, love you text?" Just for relevance, I've been trying to not use my phone this year, and often during the weekends, unless I have I try and keep off of it. Um, Often enough, it takes me a few days to respond to text, and I'm generally back to where I was 10, 15 years ago. I don't consider text important, just call me. But I get it. It feels like such a daily obligation. I love my boyfriend and love hearing from him, but it's not like I don't see him every day and share my life with him. But text from anyone just feels a mental strain on me, which is why I have them on silent. The moment I hear that ding or vibrate, my nerves get bad, and I just feel this need to see it. He hates it. So it came up twice this week that it takes an hour or two for me to respond to his cute good morning, love you text. And I explained that I usually only look at my phone during breaks or lunches. When I'm reading a book, my Kindle, on the ferry or train ride to work, and that has nothing to do with my love for him. I just can tell my brain gets hooked on a phone and I'm there for hours and I want to stop. This is a little confusing, but basically he doesn't like to text. He would
No, I
rather,
get it.
yeah.
I get
So,
it. I can pick up from there if you want.
yeah, can you?
Because Peter and I text and talk to each other all day long. We are constantly, it's our rhythm of like, especially when he's at the boutique and I'm at the bakery and we like work and then we, touch base and all that. However, he has no alert if I send him an email or need him to answer something specifically. Like he has no notifications.
Yeah.
And I understand this person because Peter having notifications, he will squirrel, and all of a sudden he'll be somewhere else, and like so he can't deal with notifications. I live by notifications because it helps me make my work progress work. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I do too.
So, and I don't always find them. Now, I don't have every notification on for everything. Like
Right.
it's very rare, but like cameras at the bakery, you know what I mean? So if something there, and I've also named all of my cameras like celebrities. So there's like when I leave the bakery, it says that I've left Wednesday Addams and Lady Gaga behind. Those are the names of the cameras, and the tablet there is called Glitter. So if anything ever happens to the thing, it's like you've left glitter behind. So I find that comforting, but I also understand how it can be so distracting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't like it. I think my initial reaction is get with the real world and use the tools. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
What he can do, just as another tech advice from Tags, is he could make only the text from his partner come through.
Yes.
That's what Diego and I do. For some reason, I was never a FaceTimer at all. Either was Diego. And we got into this the moment we started dating where we FaceTime all day long. And whoever's with me knows, there's another call. And we turned on my notification that I only get that ring when he calls.
Yeah, exactly.
And I just have to remember in a theater, it's not enough to just put it on silent, because if you call, Patty LuPone's going to be mad at me. And so, yeah,
he's generally
not any of her shit.
Patty's back.
Patty's bad. But yeah, so I put it on airplane mode because it blocks that. But what do you say to this, Cody, of any advice? Because they seem like on different wavelengths and it's pissing one of them off.
Yeah, I mean, I get the boyfriend's perspective of it more because that's the type of person I am. I like to text. I'm like Lincoln and Peter. I like to text all day and see how you're doing, check in on you, make sure you ate. Did you take a nap? I want to know every minute of every. No.
I love it.
But you know what? I know that there are other people out there that are not like this. So you have to, when you're in a relationship, compromise is one of the core components of it. So maybe they meet each other in the middle, because he said if he doesn't respond for 2 hours, then the other guy gets upset. Like, I think that's completely reasonable, honestly, because people get busy in this world and in life. So you have to be more understanding of his limitations, and well, they both do, actually, and what they're capable of and what they need out of the relationship. So I think they can work it out as long as they both have reasonable expectations.
Yeah, I think they need to find a common ground and go with it. And like we did. I mean, FaceTime, and never did I want to be on FaceTime, but now I have all the bad angles when I'm getting that call, but I don't care. It's my husband.
Aww.
So bad lighting.
A phone call is a commitment.
Yeah.
Like to stop and be focused on the phone with someone, or have it on speaker so everyone can hear you, or get that. If the person realizes that or not, depending on his partner's job, that is a commitment. It's much easier to turn and go, yeah, I love you too.
Yeah.
Then, hey, you know what I mean?
Right, yeah. It works for us, but I hear it, yeah.
Us these days, if we can only, because as human beings, the science has proven we can only do one thing at a time. So if you think you're watching a TV show while you're going through your social media, you're not really watching a TV show.
Oh no, I think I can do 8 things at one time.
It depends on what the things are. I can.
They need to test me.
Well, we were watching a Harlan, I forget his last name, but it's like he's a really good writer. It's a Netflix series, and you have to really pay attention. And we were kind of planning something on the computer. We couldn't keep track of it at all. Yeah. And I said, just let's stop it. We'll resume on Monday. So.
Which, by the way, have you guys talked about Half Man?
No, what's that?
Oh yes, we have the last episode to finish, and it's so good.
Oh, what's it on? I want to watch.
It's on chit chat about some things that are in media these days that are just good watches.
Yeah, Ooh. Half Man is really crazy, juicy.
It's a crazy, juicy show.
Yeah, check it out.
It's by the writer of Baby Reindeer.
Yes,
very well written, very well acted, very well done.
Yeah.
Sorry.
HBO
Well, on
Max.
that, oh my gosh, this is so much fun. Thanks, guys. You can
Yes.
always follow my co-host. You can follow Lincoln on Instagram at Mad Lincoln. Also, if you want to follow his Protein Bakery, follow it at Protein Bakery. Follow Cody on the gram and Blue Sky at Mr. Maurice. Follow me, I am _Steve V. We're live this Wednesday, and in the meantime, continue having hot gay sex.
Happy Madonna Summer!
Yes, exactly.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.